welcome to Self-Love Saturday. I'm your host, Laneice Leeds, and today's conversation will focus on mentorship and how it shapes your perception. See you soon.
Self-love is some part of my destiny, embracing who I'm made to be. I stop hating the reflection that I see, fearfully and wonderfully made. I must love me through my journey. I must love me through my pain. Living and serving, I'm growing every day. I'm a reflection of His perfection. If God loves me, that's all I see. Self-love is a part of my destiny.
Welcome, everyone. As I said, today's conversation is going to be good. So go ahead, grab your family, grab your friends. In fact, grab somebody that you look up to or somebody that looks up to you. This conversation, they definitely want to dive into. Today, I have two wonderful guests here who know all about the conversation because they themselves are mentors or have been mentored. And so I'm super excited to talk about self-love and the perception of this. And as you guys know, on this platform, we love to talk about building our self-love and how do we do that? Because this is a journey that I've been taking, and I just want everyone to come along with this journey with me as I continue to grow in self-love and find ways to help others grow in that journey as well. So before we dive into the questions today, I want you guys to meet these wonderful people, and you'll see why I have them as guests today. So I would like you guys to just do a brief introduction. We'll start with you, Maisha. Share with people a little bit about you and your purpose.
Okay. So my name is Maisha Johnson. I'm a parent and a mentor, and I am an advocate. I am a part of a lot of pretty much, I'm in the community. I work within the community. So that's pretty much it. And I'm going to pass the mic over to Brooke.
Yep. Thank you, Laneice, for having me on here. My name is Brooks Griffin. I'm a part of the corporate social responsibility team for the Milwaukee Bucks. But outside that 9 to 5, I'm a proud mentor, but founder of the Inspired Network here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yes. Okay, you see, y'all, I'm already excited. I'm just smiling off their introductions, okay? So I'm so excited. So I'm going to go ahead and dive right into the questions. So today, again, we are focusing on mentorship, guys. So mentorship, so we're going to talk a little bit about what that is and how that shapes our perception. And so when you think about mentorship and you think about even self-love, about what this platform is about, and how one gets that perception, what would you say helps? What is your thought about mentorship and how that helps your self-love perception?
Well, for first things first is as far as self-love, definitely that's something that you need in order to. You can't mentor somebody if you don't have self-love. You can't help somebody to love themselves if you don't have it for yourself. So the first thing is to appreciate yourself and acknowledge your capabilities, push forward, and be motivated. Mm-hmm. And try your best to, push that within your mentee, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I know when you think about mentors, they're there to guide, to really give that quick shot, that quick answer that you may not know. So, when you're thinking about self-love, I think mentors should teach you how to love in general. You see the self-love that they love within themselves, but to take that strategies and then to teach you how to do it yourself or to pour it out, it's just that example, So to self-love is just kind of give you that example of how to even do it yourself in the first place.
That's really good, because I think with mentorship, even thinking about what it is, and like you said, that guide, and if you meet someone that is struggling with self-love and appreciation, it's hard for them to push forward because they might not see their value. And a mentor can definitely bring some of that conversation to them, or they can show them the perspective that they might not even see. So I think that's really good. So before we get too deep into all these questions, I have a list of questions, y'all. Y'all know how I do. And sometimes we get off topic a little bit, but that's okay. That's what we do, because you guys were saying stuff, and I already was thinking of other questions because I was like, ooh, what about this? But I'm going to try to stay on topic here. So before we go too much, I want to kind of create a baseline for today's discussion. What exactly, because I'm just going in saying like mentorship, what is mentorship? You said a guide, but is there anything else that you would add to the definition of mentorship? Because I think that will help continue to push the conversation.
Yeah, so when I hear the word mentor, I hear the word lived experience, right? So a lot of my personal mentors, I know we'll probably go in deeper in this conversation about our personal mentors, but I personally lean towards individuals that been through what I've been going through, you know. So when I was playing basketball, I rarely wouldn't find a mentor that's a soccer coach, because that just wasn't the game. But I will find individuals that played basketball, or, you know, that career stopped halfway through because of personal struggles, but they overcame, or their learning lesson is something that I needed in that moment. So we got to connect in some way, on a personal level, on a career level, but just have some similarities that strengthen and can overcome from those ways.
And to piggyback off of that, basically mentorship, when I think about that, I think about like a lifetime teacher or something, someone that is like a not only a confidant, but somebody that becomes a family member or a mother or somebody close to you, significant, you know. And it's almost like when you see what they've accomplished, and like he was saying, you know, the obstacles that they've faced, basically it becomes something different when you realize it's not just you that are facing these situations. They've faced it too, and then they've been able to overcome the situation.
So that's good. As you were talking, I do want to ask this, because we talk about mentorship, and you had brought up coaching and everything. And so what is the difference between a mentor and a coach?
For me, the difference between a mentor and a life coach, a mentor is someone who, like I said, is almost like someone close to you, and they are able to not only they've experienced what you are experiencing, but they work real close with you. As to a life coach is someone who prepares you for, I would say, like a career path or something like that. But the mentor basically motivates you, if that sounds all right.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna agree with you as well. To me, a mentor is more personable. You know, I'm not gonna let my coach know too much of my intimate life, but to a mentor, I'll let out as well. But also with a coach is a little bit out of the box. They come, or in the box, I should say. They come with the outside framework. They come out with the goal in mind. I think about the basketball, you know, terminology is still, you know, Coach Bud, he's fighting for the basketball championship. You know, everybody may not want the championship. Some people may want experience. But you can't go to the coach and say, hey, man, championship team, I just want some experience. But for a mentor, they may give you a personalized, tailored approach to what you really need. So, you know, having mentors in your life is good, but then also it is a need to have those coaches as well to help you get to that vision.
I agree. I think you need both. And when I just want to add to this conversation, because when I was thinking about a coach and a mentor and what's the difference, again, I think is value in both. But when I think about it, I think I want to use basketball too. If I'm going to play basketball, I need a coach. The coach has the whole team in mind, right? They're in the game with me. Even if they're not physically doing the game, they're there. They're coaching me. No, go here, go there. No, you need to practice on this more. And their focus is on being in the game. And if I have a coach has that lived experience of whatever I'm looking for. But when I think about a mentor might not actually be in the game with you. So they don't have to be at the basketball game practicing with me, but they can mentor me. They can provide advice. They can provide guidance. But And they have a more intimate, you can share more intimacy with them because, again, it's not about the whole team. I love that you said that too. It's like individualized. And so, and a mentor doesn't necessarily, again, they don't even have to have that experience to mentor me. So if I'm starting a business and I need some mentorship on social media, you may never have did the business that I'm doing, but you can mentor and advise me because it's similar enough. But if it was a coach, I need that coach to know exactly what is going on. So I think that's really good. And I think just the point that both of them have value. I do think that a coach can be a mentor though too. They can play in both roles because sometimes you end up getting really close to somebody that's coaching you and things of that nature. And one last thing, this is really, a mentor, I don't even know if it has to always be a person that you personally know. You can be really like, man, that person is really good at this. Let me study their life. Like I talk to many people who have been released out of the justice system, and they talk about how their life changed because they read a book and they followed those principles, or they watched somebody and they studied that, and because of that, they took that guidance that provided, and their life changed. So they're intimate with someone they don't even know. The person don't even know them, but it provided guidance. What do you think about that?
I just think it's the beauty of just relationships in general, and just being humans. It shows us, one, how much we need each other, right, and one, two, why we should care for others and ourselves. So like for example, you're speaking about the inmates, or those that aren't able to be at home with their families. They read of Malcolm X, they read of influential leaders, and it gives them that inspiration to say, hey, I can do it as well. So the coach, again, can be like, hey, here's how to do it, but the mentor really pushes, say that you can do it, and you can pull it in.
The coach is the how, and the
mentor is the balance. It's the inspiration behind it, the why behind I should do it.
And they make you feel like you can.
Most definitely. But I believe also, if I can say that though, good mentors are the ones that also put it back in your hand.
Right.
There's a lot of individuals that's been through the game that, you hear the game, it's the game should be sold, not told. And a lot of individuals build themselves, pay mentors, volunteer mentors, but the most authentic ones are those that are intentional about just pouring life because what they see in their mentee. So you got to be a willing mentee also as well to put in the work when, a mentor is pouring their life open or giving you the game as well.
Oh, so are you saying like having a mentor is a two-way street?
Oh, yeah, it's a relationship.
What is the responsibility then? I know I'm going, see, y'all just started this now. What is the responsibility of the mentee then?
So the responsibility of a mentee is to basically, when there's like, I guess when you build that relationship with your mentor, right? There are boundaries and things like that. There's rules and things like that. There are pretty much almost like a list that a mentor say, hey, I want you to accomplish this. I want you, accomplish this as far as your goals. I want you to do this. I want you to do this. And this is how you'll get started. Same thing as far as like the mentee, when they decide to do that, they are learning responsibilities. They are learning all types of things that they are capable of doing that they didn't think that they could do it. Yeah. If that makes sense. So basically they feed off each other. They learn from each other. And it goes both ways. And if that makes sense.
Do you have to, as a mentee, do you think they need to come prepared with like a goal of this is what I want, or is that something they discover? I guess have you guys been mentored before? And as a mentor, like what will help someone listening that they're like, well, how do I do this? What do I need to do?
Yeah, so I would say I've been in a journey of mentorship. When I was a young person, well, still a young person, but when I was a kid, a lot of adults and a lot of community leaders ran to me to mentor me. But I was in the mindset too where I was closed-minded. Didn't want to mentor, didn't want no adults around me to tell me what I got to do. And there was kind of like a generational gap where it was like, hey, you got to do this, you got to do this. And I just wanted to be heard, Kind of grew up and then, made great decisions, great careers, great opportunities. And there's that responsibility to mentor, to give back, it's automatically there. But then you start to see the little U's that don't want to listen, just like, oh, you're an adult now. So I think overall, from being mentored and to being challenged to mentor someone else, it's all about trust. And you know, throughout it all, understanding that relationships are the key to mentorship. You got to build trust with yourself. You got to build trust with the community. You got to build trust with people that you don't know. Like, I've got mentors that are white, you know, and on a personal life, I probably would never ever engage just because everything's going on. But because of the heart of trust and leaning and compassion and empathy, you build relationships with people that you never thought you probably would have. And because of that, I think that's the beauty of mentorship.
Right. So how does mentorship expand then your life, and how can it expand even your self-perception and self-confidence? How has mentorship done that for you, or how can it do it for someone else?
As far as me, when I was being mentored, the benefits are, I guess the benefits is that you are able to see what you are capable of doing and accomplishing those goals. Even if you have not accomplished it, at least you are still pushing instead of giving up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so that is one benefit. But as far as, what was the other question? I'm sorry.
Just like basically the benefits of it, and how can that help shape your perception, like really getting involved in that mentorship relationship?
Just based off what you receive, if it motivates you enough to want to do it with someone else, that's pretty much it. And so I want to say it is the individual. If that individual, as far as like my mentor, for an example, she was dope. She is dope. She's dope. She's super dope. And she just has so many things that I valued. It was just her personality, African American, strong, you know, just Black. I mean, it was everything. And then just knowing her story and learning everything that she accomplished. It wasn't easy, and the positions that she had taken as far as her roles in her career, things like that. It was motivating for me to actually, you know, when she came to me and said, hey, I want to mentor you, I pretty much did that. And the goals that I needed to do, let's just say there's no discomfort there's always discomfort when you want to make changes to yourself. So literally I had to step outside of my box and my little, you know, shelter and make some changes, some big changes. And I had to come forward about some stuff that was just, I mean, at the end of the day, it was worth it. I would never take it back. And it just, when you make those changes, you feel good about yourself.
Wow. Yeah, that's really good.
I think about me again. I think about the importance of relationships. You know, I'm a 28-year-old Black man from Milwaukee, you know, father of 2 girls, single dad. College dropout, you know, deal with mental health challenges, like everything that normally somebody could have threw in the towel and said, I'm done. It should have been me, right? But, you know, for me to even work in the NBA, you know, for me to have my own business, I didn't do it. Yeah, I can pat myself in the back and say I got inspiration, motivation, but it was literally because people opened the door for me. You know, at my last job, my job told me, hey, you too good for here. You need to go somewhere else. You know, and I'm like, huh? And got the job, you know. Or I think about the individuals that, you know, bring you to the side and say, hey, I know you're not talking nothing. I see that you're grinding hard, but you just need to come sit down and just take a break. And from those conversations, I broke down as a man and cried, you know, and never understood and never knew that, you know, I thought I was coming in with how to build a business plan. Come look at my balance sheet. Come help me get successful. But the real success that my mentor taught me, and Uncle Rick, if you're listening, man, is to be cool with your emotions and embrace that, because at the end of the day, that's who you are. And the more and more you can embrace who you are, then everything around it is going to come organically.
Wow. So this is so good. Just being open, if you're listening to this, to growth. It may be painful sometimes, but there's a little pain in growth, but the end result is worth it. And being open to people who don't look like you, being open to people from different whatever backgrounds, because they open doors. And then the fact that someone else will see your value. Sometimes people see things in you that you don't see, which is why you might apply for that job, which is why you might start that business, which is why you might get up and go a little bit harder, because someone else sees and speaks the value. And even when I think about loving ourselves and things like that, we need to love ourselves enough to allow other people in. Self-love allows people in. and building that trust, because yes, someone else may have hurt you. Yes, these things, I'm not going to never negate anybody's experience, but I also know that there are people who really have good hearts, who really who really says, you know what, I have to leave a legacy, and not just to my children, but to other people. And so y'all are talking good today. Look, let me try to get back.
Hey, when you talk about self-love, Laneice, what I just thought about though, it's hard, you know, and I think the elephant in the room is self-love just within itself is tough. And I appreciate just this platform, you know, just to kind of be intentional about it. But the underlying emotion about that as well, it's hard to fail.
Right.
And especially to love yourself when you identify yourself as a failure, when you identify your past, it's nothing but failure and you can't, you know, succeed off it. So I think, again, that's why you need a mentor, though, because with the mentor, again, a good mentor should be one that allows you to fail. That's one that's to show you when you failed, that one, you're not a failure, but then how to succeed off that failure. So I also believe, too, a lot of individuals are missing mentors. That's why everyone should have a mentor, because, you know, we got to fail.
Piggybacking, man, I agree with you so much, because when you have that one mentor and there's times when you just are not feeling you're not feeling exactly what everybody is seeing. Right. So the accomplishments that you feel like, man, things are not going this way, it's not going that way. And your mentor is like, but you good. You still shining, you still smiling, you know. Still listen to that Mary J. Blige when you get up in the morning, if that helps, you know, and that's me.
Yeah.
And so whatever it is that you've done to make changes, keep doing it and do more. Right. And do more. And that's what happens when, like you said, you know, it helps you to be a better person, which kind of, you know, caused me to go out in the community. That's what made me want to, you know, help out. Yeah. And so, but it's I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it does happen that way where you don't feel like you see the changes, but everybody else are complimenting like, you're doing real good.
It's an investment, and it's an investment in you. And I want to say this because I've mentored people, and like I said, this show is about my journey and sharing it with everyone. I have not reached the pinnacle of complete self-love. I have my moments too where I'm like, but that's where that mentor and that guidance comes in. I can mentor someone and not be perfect. No one is perfect, right? And so we're on this journey together and we're pushing each other forward. And one thing that I share with anybody that I'm mentoring or, you know, just having a conversation with, you are not whatever you consider your biggest failure. That's a moment. That's not your life. I'm not even my biggest success. No one success and no one failure defines me. And if I kind of keep that in my mind, because I can be very hard on because I'm kind of not a real perfectionist, but I like stuff certain kind of way. And when it don't go that way, I'm like a little upset about it. But when you have that guidance, they will remind you, first of all, what you've done well. Okay, now you told me everything you've done that could have, you know, been better, but what have you done well? And that's where you grow. And that's why it's so important to have a mentor. And both of you said that. So I'm going to jump to a question about, and then we're going to go to a break after this, because I have to thank my wonderful sponsors, right? How do you find a mentor? Like, we're talking about everybody should have a mentor or a coach. How would one gain a mentor? Yeah. And how do you know, like, what should I look for? This should be my mentor. That should be my mentor.
Yeah, this probably may not be the answer that anybody may thought of, but you got to be a mentor to find a mentor. And I think especially for our community, we see BS when it comes, you know, and in order to not become that BS, you have to try it, you have to practice it, you know. So, you know, I'm 27 years old, and I think about when I really dove into mentoring. I was like a teenager trying to mentor, you know, little 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds. I was still growing as myself as a man emotionally. So when the kid triggered me, I snapped on them off, and I didn't realize how hard or bad that hurt that relationship, right? So now when, you know, we're working with teenagers that, you know, again, that our fathers are maybe behind bars or they're growing up emotion, they lean on me out of trust, out of care. I have to be maturing enough to care for them as well, too. So you have to hold yourself in, knowing that mentee then maybe reach out to somebody else and they may, you know, give you credit for your mentorship, or they may, expand your opportunity to mentors more. But because of that and the beauty of relationships and humans overall, somebody will be tapped into your life organically. Somebody will value you because of what they see you doing somebody else. So rather than looking for somebody, just be that somebody, and then they'll come for you.
Ooh, that's good. Be that somebody. Y'all heard that tagline? That's a tagline. Be that somebody. Okay.
Okay, so I actually think it's the opposite. I honestly think in order for you to be a mentor, you have to have a mentor. And I guess because of how my mentor was with me, that's how I ended up being with my nephew. And I just took everything that she did when she was working with me and now, and just try to, put that into, and it's almost like an investment. They invest their time in you, and you take it and turn it around and invest your, try and use your time and your, just be compassionate and understanding to individuals such as yourself. There's single women out there, in a community that are either experiencing my situation or has already experienced it. And, you just want to be that backbone because you already know what it's like to experience certain things, especially as an African-American woman, single. And so everything that she taught me and every little chance or every time that she invested something in me, I took that, turned it around and did something with my nephew that I wanted to do, and even something different, even more, and just was consistent with it.
That's good. And I think what you guys are showing us right now is that there's many, many paths. And so I definitely believe that one way you can find a mentor if you're looking for one is verbalize it. And even if I need assistance. I would like someone who's interested in it. Post it. Don't be ashamed or embarrassed about saying what you need. And another thing is how you find one, volunteer. Start volunteering. And then you're going to gravitate and you're going to see, like, I like the way that person moves. I like the way that person's communicating. And guess what? All you got to do is ask. And even if the person might say, well, I don't have time to mentor or whatever, say, well, what are you doing next? Can I volunteer with you? Serve. And when you serve other people, automatically they're going to serve you. And so, because it's a two-way street. It's not just the mentor pouring into you, but you have to also find ways, how can I pour back? And either you're pouring back by, of course, we want to pour back into other people, or you see, well, what can I do to help my mentor? Just because they're mentoring you in one area doesn't mean that they can't use your value in others. So this conversation is so good, but I have to take a moment to just thank my sponsors.
Taylor Legacy with Saquana Taylor, where they have mastered uncommon conversations from advocacy to capacity building in wealth, relationships, and so much more. Come on, gather your friends and family. It's time to expand with Taylor Legacy. Uncommon conversations never sounded so good.
This broadcast is sponsored by Reed's New Golden Gate Funeral Home. If you care enough to give your loved one the very best, call Reed's New Golden Gate Funeral Home. It is our mission to care for the funeral and cremation needs of your family. We offer cremation, burial, and entombment services. Excellence is our minimum standard because we serve every family as our own. Our family serving your family, that's Reed's New Golden Gate Funeral Home. Allow us to meet your needs today. We have 3 locations to serve you. 5665 North Titonia in Milwaukee, 1910 Taylor Avenue in Racine, a House of Branch at 3125 West Roosevelt in Chicago.
Self-Love Saturday knows how important it is about cherishing the moment. So when you want to be intentional about capturing the beauty or creating a time capsule for your legacy, make sure that you bookmark PWR-FWD Media. They see the moment, which allows you to be present in the moment. Power Forward Media. Make sure to call them today.
All right. Power Forward Media is handling us today. We thank you guys. They are really just making us look good. So we are grateful for our sponsors. And so I'm just going to get right back into the conversation because I really have been enjoying what we're talking about. Now I want to get a little bit more personal and ask you about your personal experience with mentorship, how it's impacts your life, and how it has even helped guide you to the roles and the positions that you have on today.
Well, for starters, my mentorship, or my mentor, excuse me, her name is Julie Landry. And Ms. Landry has guided me to basically do better, you know. So at one point, I used to work with her, and that's how I met her. That's how she became my mentor. And there were some things, activities that was just going on the job. And she just basically said, hey, you guys are, between me and my fellow, you know, coworkers, there was some just bad experiences. And she said, you know, no one is trying to step up and be the lead. You know, I see something in you. If you want to make changes, you know, just try and do something different. And so what I did was I ended up going to mediation with the individuals that I couldn't see eye to eye, and tried to make some changes on the team. Had to come forward with some information, just out of passionate too, and that was pretty much it. And from that point on, she literally, step by step, she's been with me. You know, she's helped me going through court situations and things like that. She's actually helped me to understand that this is just something that, you know, people go through. And she's pretty much just motivated me just to try and continue to make changes. If there's something that comes up in court, try and make changes the next time so that way they won't have anything negative to say. You know, there's pretty much to turn the negatives into positives, anything. When you see people out there that need something, you know, try and donate or you know, purchase a sandwich from a restaurant and bring it to them if they're hungry, you know, something. But just try and do something different and just push. If you're not succeeding in the things that you want as far as, you know, accomplishing school, you know, I have 2 semesters left. And as far as that goes, you know, I'm still pushing, still striving just to complete those 2 semesters. And so I think that's something that she has instilled in me, and I think that's pretty much it. She's a strong Black woman, and when you see things that they've gone through, like I said, the stories you hear, it makes you want to do more.
And I just want to add, I think what happens too, what we see in others, sometimes we don't realize we're drawn to them because that same thing is in us. Mm-hmm. So you were drawn to her because you too are strong. You too are powerful. You too are a leader. And I just want to add that value to the conversation, that if you are attracted to someone for a certain reason, 9 times out of 10, you possess those things inside of you, and you really need that person that's going to help bring it out. That's why you're attracted to them anyway.
And another thing is, this is why I wore this bracelet today too. It says, dream it, do it. And she gave this to me. And so she gave this to me about maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And as long as I'm still striving to try and complete those 2 semesters, I'm going to wear it. So I wear this. This is my motivation.
What's that second part say?
It says, dream it, do it.
That do it part is so important, you know, because a dream or a vision without action, that's what it's going to stay, just a dream. You have to do the do it part too. And so I think a mentorship, that really kind of helps hold you accountable. Accountability is so important. So thank you for that.
Yeah. If I could think about a mentor and how he shaped my life, I got to give, you know, kudos to Uncle Rick, a big, huge leader, uncle to so many in Milwaukee. Sometimes I get jealous at times, like, man, come on now. But I think I don't want to share them. But I think our mentorship, and I think you put it on a good point where you get more intimate. Even though I call him Uncle Rick, I look at him as a pops. All right. Mm-hmm. You know, he's been through my journey, I would say, as a young adult. I was really into ministry, kind of jumped out of that life when, I had a kid out of wedlock. And, for those that grew up in church and, those in the back seat, what happened. So, but Uncle Rick at that time, where I was growing into my identity, he really wrapped his arms around me.
That's so good. Growing into your identity.
I feel that's where a mentor is needed. Yes. Because a mentor can, and of course we're in Milwaukee, so for those that's watching probably can taste this too. Again, y'all watch for good mentors and bad mentors, because the individual can see what's in you and then not invest in you. They can divest from you and take away for their own goods. So why I really lean into Uncle Rick is because he saw me for who I was. He saw the potential. Yeah, he knew the family. Yes, it was personal, but he saw me for me. So even now, and I would say, 7 years, 8 years down the road, when we really first started to connect, it's still that same level of trust. It's still that same, he can call me at the table, he can still pull my personal life out, pull my professional life out, but still have Brooks be the main forefront. I haven't found Uncle Rick. I found friends, I found coaches, I found, individuals, but I have not found a mentor. And then I even like to say specifically a mentor. A guy that's a man. That's so rare. So if a man that's looking out, I think we should be the ones that's running towards mentors or being mentors, because we also we have a lot of emotions, but we haven't gave it to the world yet because we haven't learned how to do it. And once we realize that's the true gift, that's what the world is missing, then we'll be able to start doing a lot of great things together. So Uncle Rick got me to be an emotional man,
That's good, though.
But,
you know why
but
that's so good?
Me
because I think even as we raise, and we talked about this last month when I was talking to the fathers, when we raise our daughters and we raise our sons, we a lot of times raise them differently. We raise young men not to really show their emotions, but you have them. So where do you show them? How do you deal with them? You fight. But there has to be a place that you two can rest and have that peace, or whatever word you would use.
I think you put it on the platform is why we're here. I've learned to rest my emotions in the love that I give myself, and to learn how to embrace the emotions. So when I'm mad, I may be mad because of external reasons, but the reason I'm mad is because I'm loving. So for most of the life, I was mad at my dad. How could you cheat on my mama? How could you get a divorce? How could you allow me to be mad at everybody else and they all got their daddy? And for the moment, I was mad at myself for being mad. And then I started to get more mad at myself. And then sooner or later, I'm self-harming. I'm, having different ideations. And to the point where I had to have that hard conversation, you realize, you know what? I just loved you. I just wanted to love you harder. And it took me out of a place of resentment and to put me in a place to be mentored again by the person that hurt me.
So good. That's
so
good. You're gonna have me. I almost want to cry. Because that's so good. Because what is really the underlying emotion? Even when we block mentorship or we block guidance, we're blocking people because we don't want to allow them in, and we don't want that trust. Can I trust you with my stuff? Can I trust you with my life? And then the fact is, because I'ma love you. And can I trust you with that? And when we love hard, right? We love hard. We give of ourselves. And can you be trusted with? Man, y'all good on here tonight.
Look, I'm gonna say this too. And it just kind of it piggyback off that. I saw on Facebook. I just talked about it a day ago. So somebody posted, the hardest thing about me is that I love too hard. Well, that's my strength. But my weakness is that I love too hard. And you can take those two things of loving and just knowing that you're doing all right, and you can love on purpose. So it's what we need in mentors, and that's what we need in our life.
That's good. That's good. Okay, y'all. Okay, so we talked about finding one. We talked about getting mentorships. Can you have multiple mentors? Do you advise that? What are your thoughts about that? And then just a little bit, you talked about making sure you have the right mentor. What are some things that we should be looking for and things that we should be looking out for so that we don't get a mentor that's not adding value, because they see the value and they want to take it. You know what I'm saying? So how do you point out, first question, can you have multiple ones? And then how do you decide what's a good mentor?
I'll do the first one. Okay, so as far as having more than one mentors, I think that at first I was like, nah, I just want Julie. No, can't have this, can't have that. But I guess being in that circle or being a mentee of hers, it's almost like she comes with a package. So she has, sisters, AKA sisters, not even that, just close friends and families that are able to step up when, if she's not available, they are able to, be around as well. So I would say yes, it's okay. Still keep everything if you're not wanting to, it's okay to not share personal information with others as you would with that main mentor, but I would say yes.
And like I said, I'll add to the second part, and I don't mean this in a romantic way, but take your mentor on a date. You don't hop in relationships just because of how they look, just because of what you heard about them. Take them out on a date.
That's good.
Take them out and ask them questions,
yeah.
and really see and and don't have a one night stand either. Take them out on another date and see really are they who they are. Look at their character. Look at the track record in the community to see can you give your life to that person. Because when you're into a mentorship, you can't pour out your life and then win it back. They know they're gonna be intimate, so you have to do it. And even off the multiple mentors, I always try to find. I haven't found one, but find a mentor that doesn't know you personally. So that they can look at you not from the bias of, I knew you was a big knucklehead growing up, or, I knew you from the accolades we see you on TV, but really somebody that sees the true, authentic value of you. I think you'll have hard conversations that you probably never had because, I may feel bad to tell somebody something hard if I really know that that's their tough spot, but for somebody that just really sees it as value, they'll give it to you without, second guessing, and you may need that.
Wow, that is so good. And I can't believe this. Every time, y'all, I be getting so good into the conversation. Then it's like time to go. So I know we're getting to that point, and I want you guys to watch it to the end. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. So I want you guys. Oh man, that was a good one. But we're gonna maybe have to continue this conversation another time. So I want you guys to share in closing any advice that you would like to share with our audience, and then any resources that may be available for them, programs, anything that could help guide them.
Okay, well, wait a minute.
So any advice, your closing advice to the audience, and resources and services?
My best advice is, as far as mentorship, try and do as much as you can. We have kids out here that are get into all kinds of trouble. So there's opportunities any and everywhere to try and get involved within our community with these kids, especially trouble. As far as resources
or services, or
if
that you might want to get into.
For individuals like single parents, single mothers, or anything that are experiencing situations, maybe mental health, there's always Aurora Health out there that has counseling and things like that. I think I want to say that's it. I am involved with the Dream Team, Comforce. So if there's something that comes up, you can always reach, obviously, Von Mays. But we also have the Dream Team that we do the once a month where we are passing out food and things like that. And then we have the refund community, MKE, and that is something where it's kind of like a new thing we are doing with the kids in the community. We're trying to get them off the streets as well. And so we have events almost once a month. Just be looking close. Everything is on Facebook. And I think that's pretty much it.
I want to ask you just something you said at the beginning about, it just slipped my mind. Okay, never mind.
Mentorship?
Yeah, it had to do with mentorship and guidance, but the thought slipped my mind that quick. So That's okay. But it was what you shared was really good. So thank you. Here you go, man.
So for those that may be listening, I guess my plea, my urge, and kind of even back, my heart's for young people too. So we need more mentors. So if you don't have a mentor, again, I say be one. If you don't know what a mentor look like, fake it till you make it, and find somebody and just, really give your life to them. And that's my passion. That's my purpose. Of course, I'm working for the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks in 4. We're about to make it to the championship this year. And, but sorry for those that Atlanta Hawks fans. But even outside of that, my purpose is spirituality, and it's something that I really care about. And right now, I believe this is a time now that we need to be bold and step up and say we need to advance spirituality, especially within our young folk. When young folk are looking for their identity, they're looking for their purpose and spirituality. If we're looking at whole child wellness and social emotional learning and all this, and they're throwing it at our face when we are truly spiritual people. So mentorship is service. It's how we get to really tap into individuals and really to show our love for each other. So I gotta thank you, just for this platform, just to even talk about self-love, but just how the integration of mentorship is self-love. Because, I'm not even sure if you asked it or if we tapped on it, but just the greatest benefit about mentorship is not for the other person, it's really for you. And what you can do when when I mentor a kid and they tell me, I got a 4.0. No, I got a 4.0. That helped me out. But just to know, I had to talk about my high school years. I had to talk about, the pain where I didn't have my dad, just to give all of that just for a kid, just to circle a bubble and just to get the right answer. It doesn't seem like it makes sense in the moment, but you'll get your reward 5 years down the road.
You have to be that confidence for that one kid, like for an example, nephew, when he didn't have the confidence, he wasn't, he wasn't sure about passing classes or anything. You gotta pretty much you gotta mold him like you were molded. And like you were saying, as far as Uncle Ricky, because he is familiar with Uncle Ricky too. But he's one of those kids where he attended that, St. Francis High School, and he just wasn't sure. And they didn't seem sure about his grades either. They were willing to allow him to graduate with a GED status. And I wasn't falling for it. He has a nice brain, inside his head. And so when you do see the accomplishments, so basically, what I'm saying is you got to work with them. You got to build them up. You got to pour a whole bunch of love in them. You got to nourish them. And just be that mother that they never really had, be that aunt that they, that they look up to, and just be that one person that they've never really had in their life. So come on.
Yeah, so we got Tevin here, so this is so beautiful. But it brought back the point I wanted to share earlier when you were talking, and I remember you talked about troubled youth. And I think that we need to change our perspective or change what we see. You see a troubled youth versus saying they troubled or they, whatever you think that might be negative, think they need mentorship. They need guidance. What area are they struggling with that I might could help? So I think that if every person, instead of saying, what area do they need mentorship in? What area do they need guidance in? And what shift could that happen? Even just if we took a whole a block and like everybody, this is what we doing. If you see somebody that's doing something that is not going, what can we do? And that was just really good when you said that. I thought like, man, we need to change our perspective of, no, they're not troubled. They need guidance so that they can make different decisions. And Tevin, since we have you here today, I just want to close because this is so good. How has mentorship helped you? I know you just graduated this year, so we celebrating. You just graduated from high school. So just share a little bit with us today as you being mentored yourself.
My aunt has proved to be one of the best mentors I've had so far in my life. She's taken over both the father and mother role in my life over this last year and the years of my life over this course of 17 years. And this year has proved to be very just triumphant, just graduating and getting my grades up. She was the number one hand on my back saying, go forward. And she actually helped me with the idea of not turning these troubled kids into misguided kids. Because we're not trouble, we're not in trouble, we're not troubled, we're just misguided. So with the right guidance, she helped put me on a better path. And now I'm actually out here, I'm a fire cadet. I'm helping with the community. She put me on a path to helping people and looking at the world with a better view. So that's the view from my aunt.
So beautiful. So before that, do you feel your life would be different without that guidance?
this last year certainly would have been, because my future, I didn't think much on it with COVID and everything that was going on. It really affects us. And I don't think people take the time to realize, it affects every single body, not just the mentees, but the mentors. So really, this journey this last year has been really a journey for me and her. And when it comes to mentors, the most important thing to realize is you can also learn some from the mentees. And that could also help the mentors teach you better. It is a constant relationship back and forth with energy. You give it in, they give it back out, they give it right back to you. And that's what she's been doing with me. And she's still doing it till this day with others.
Thank you, Tevin. Look at here now. And he was on the spot. He didn't even know. That's what I was like. Come on. So, thank you guys so much. And I just want to say that it's an investment and it's worth the investment. And don't look to have all the answers. Just look to say yes and be on that path. And so how can people connect with you if they say, you know what, I really want to learn more about some of you named like 3 different organizations. Right. So it might be easier for them to connect to you to share that. And how can people connect? Are you still doing your own business? I know I didn't reach out to him like, can you mentor this person? I know, can you do this? Because I see him doing the work. So I know he does it. So how can people connect with you?
They can actually, what they can do is contact me. My email is mshumphrey at gmail.com. That's Miss Humphrey at gmail.com. Other than that, I'm on Facebook and IG, which is Instagram. So that's it.
And your name one more time, just so I know we said it at the beginning, but.
My name is Maisha Johnson.
And that's what you are on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, no, not on IG, but just mainly Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And you can follow me again on social media as Brooks Griffin. But really pushing you to follow the Inspired Network. We're doing some powerful things this year. Again, the mission is just to push spirituality. So we know that it's not something that's really talked about. It's something that's underfunded, and it's the solution. So right now, for those that's listening, we're trying to partner. We're trying to have conversations in schools, trying to have conversations in corporate organizations to really figure out, one, how can we define what spirituality is, but then also how can we really frame this to really get our community back, to get our homes back, to get our city back. So we need it. You can go on Heal, Grow, Lead. So 3 different words, healgrowlead.com. And then you'll find all the information on how we can get connected. And then from there, everything's going to organically work out.
Wonderful. Thank you guys both. And so you know what we're doing. We got to close out our show as we always do. You got to grab your mirror, and you're going to repeat after me. And where I say my name, remember yours to say your name, okay? All righty. Look at your beautiful self. Yes. Laneice. I love you. Self-love is a part of your destiny. You're fearfully and wonderfully made, and there's nothing you can do about it. Again, everybody, my name is Laneice McGee. Laneice going by Laneice Leads. I'm your host, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Thanks.